Today we will take a look at the Leica Q3 Monochrom, and the focus of this video is the sensor's low light performance when compared to the best of the color sensor class, the GFX100RF. Now, first I'll talk about the Q3 Monochrom a little bit before I talk about the GFX100RF, because the Q3 Monochrom theoretically is the best low light photography camera. It has a fast lens 1.7 that is sharp, wide open. It has image stabilization. It uses a leaf shutter that minimizes overall shock. And lastly, it has a monochrome sensor that theoretically performs extremely well in low light. Now, I don't claim to be an expert in monochrome photography. This is actually my first monochrome camera, but I'm always fascinated by the image quality that people have posted for monochrome photos shot with the Leica Monochrom, because they can be shot at really high ISO while maintaining good details. The thing is, how does it perform really when you convert a color sensor camera to monochrome itself? Now, most comparisons you see online is of course utilizing another full frame camera, and theoretically the monochrome wins because it removes the filter and it's just sharper, right? But what if I compare to the best of the color sensor class, the GFX100 medium format sensor? Now, a 100 megapixel sensor built into this camera is theoretically the same as a 60 megapixel camera, but upsized and added with more pixels. So the pixel density is very similar. But once you downsize a GFX100 photo, as you can see in this shot by DP Review, you can tell that the GFX100 outperforms any full frame when it comes to noise performance at high ISO, purely because you are downsizing a very large photo to a smaller format. So how does it compare when you actually shoot side by side with a monochrome camera converted to black and white? And this is the results. At 3200, I would say it's very similar. I will probably give the GFX100 a touch more resolution, and I'll give the monochrome camera a touch better noise performance in the darkest shadows. But it's very slight. At 6400 ISO, this is a shot of a cathedral front face, right? In the brightly lit region, the GFX100 still maintains that slight resolution advantage. But once you enter the shadows, you will see, firstly, there is more noise on the GFX100 photos. Secondly, you will notice that it's not about sharpness anymore, it's about the loss of details. There are small little fine details that are now missing in the GFX100 photos that can still be seen in the Leica shots. But it's very minor and only appears in like the really dark, low contrast area. Now, lastly, when you look at very high ISO at 25,000 ISO or 25,600 on the GFX100, this is very obvious now. Firstly, the monochrome sensor just blows the GFX100 away when it comes to noise performance. Literally everywhere, there's just more noise. It looks like half a stop to a full stop, or maybe even more than that. I'm not too sure because I didn't shoot 12,800 sadly. But definitely significantly more noise on the photo itself. And most importantly, when you look at the darker regions, firstly, there is even more noise for the GFX100 photos, but that's not the worst part. It's the absolute loss of details. The details are just missing in those parts of the photos. You can see, like especially this roof here, clearly you can see the roof on the Q3 Monochrom. Now, what does this mean, right? If the best color sensor, which outperforms every other color sensor, do not even have details and has worse noise performance, you can safely say that the Q3 Monochrom will beat almost any sensor when it comes to noise and details, at least when compared to other colored sensors. Now, I do not have the luxury of another monochrome camera, so I do not know how it performs to the Q2 Monochrom, but at least, I can just very surely say that the Q3 Monochrome will outperform any colored sensor in the market today that you can buy when it comes to low light photography in black and white. And no, nothing can illustrate better than this particular shot of just a staircase at 1/15 of a shutter, 50,000 ISO, and I still think that it looks fantastic, right? Maybe if you zoom in a bit, there is quite a bit of noise, but the noise looks relatively organic to me, and it is a very usable shot at 50,000 ISO. This is just not possible with a color sensor. Firstly, you cannot even shoot 50,000 in a lot of the color sensor. It will look like absolute crap. Secondly, the details will just be all gone. And lastly, image stabilization is not even in every single camera out there. So the Q3 Monochrome really is that perfect camera, theoretical perfect camera for low light situation. That's my first impression of the Q3 Monochrome when it comes to sensor capabilities. And I will do more tests. If you have any questions, do put down in below, because I own this camera here. I will have more chances to utilize it and give you guys an honest opinion of it after a few months. This camera is still very rare. I don't think that you will find it easily in the market. But, if you have any questions, do let me know. Until the next time, bye-bye.